welcome back to the third episode.
Third episode
of Cigars and Cars.
Yes.
And you're back.
Yep.
For the third episode. My father was on the last one. But, what's happening between you and me?
Nothing much. It's been a crazy past few weeks. I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Just been busy with Christmas shopping.
Work.
I
hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
First of all.
It was a little different with COVID this year, but
yeah.
You know what? We made do.
Mm-hmm.
And on to the next holiday.
Yep. So, I don't know. What should we talk about? There's a lot of topics that went on this week that I was following. At least car-wise. I mean, you had... I found this article of, 50 most underappreciated cars. And, to see a lot of the cars that were on the list was, kind of surprising. Because, you just wouldn't think of it. And, I don't know. It just felt like... I felt like it was kind of dumb. You know? Because... you had a lot of cars on there that are, really appreciated now. You had the Oldsmobile Tornado... Oh, not to get off topic here. We are smoking the Comanche, Connecticut Estates. Yeah, I know you can't see this. I don't know why I'm showing it in front of the camera like this. It doesn't make any sense. But, you're right there?
Yeah. Just,
But, I actually, I bought a couple more cigars.
Yeah, these ones are pretty good, not gonna lie. I had one yesterday, and it's very, 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 very pleasant.
They're really smooth, believe it or not.
Yeah, they really are. This one's starting to crack a little bit. That's alright.
I mean, we're in a really dry climate right now. That's why you have to keep these at, peak temperature and stuff, because if you don't, then they're just gonna get really messed up after time. Yeah. A couple seeds in here.
These ones are going to be pretty good this podcast.
Oh, yeah, they will. They definitely will. But, we need to get a different ashtray.
Yeah, I know.
This thing, not saying that it's, a bad ashtray by any means, but, it's just kind of I don't know, it's more cigarette-ish. And that's what that's what we're not doing. We're doing cigars here. Actually, why don't we switch sides? I'll just hang on to mine. But some of the cars that were on that list were really stupid. I saw the 70s Stingrays on there. And I'm just why are these even in the list? They shouldn't even be in the list. Because those cars were loved by all of the astronauts and stuff.
Yeah, I don't understand it. But you gotta remember, when a lot of people actually came home from...
the war.
Yeah, they, whatever money they had, whether you're having a family or not, they wanted toys. Everybody wanted toys.
Yeah, they did. But I just it's
the same thing nowadays.
I saw the Oldsmobile Tornado, and that's one of my favorite cars, Oldsmobile-wise, GM-wise, classic, because it's just cool. You just don't see cars like that anymore.
No.
And the Tornado, and the Tornado was just it's so different, because I actually saw Jay Leno has a twin-turboed V12 Tornado.
Yeah, it's pretty nifty.
His car collection is beyond this world. I love Jay Leno. He's such a great guy. But, I don't know. I watched a few videos with Doug. He actually just made a new one. I haven't watched it yet on the Ram TRX. That's going to be a really good video to watch. But
I think we brought up the what was it, the Lincoln Navigator?
Lincoln
in
Navigator.
The first podcast, and
the Lincoln Navigator, yeah.
Man, let me tell you, that is a very, very, very interesting car still. I actually worked on one.
You had the Aviator.
I worked on the Lincoln Aviator actually yesterday at work, Wednesday. Jesus, actually it's Thanksgiving. Worked on it yesterday, or said it again. worked on it Wednesday at work, and I'll tell you what, compared to video and crap in person, much better car. I
knew they were gonna be a great car.
Yeah.
But I think Lincoln has knocked it out of the park when it comes to like technology and just the amount of like just different details that they put in their interiors now. Their interiors are like a Rolls. They're so in depth.
I mean, do I think that their SUVs are worth
60, 70 grand? No.
Do I think it's worth that money? No. Do I think you could buy something much cooler for the money? Like a performance Lexus or BMW, Audi, anything like that? Yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you have kind of screw all money, I mean, that's your go-to. But me, I'm more of a car person than I am a truck or SUV. But
yeah. We're having technical difficulties here.
Oh boy.
Trying to get the laptop charged. There we go. Excuse me. No, I think I actually posted a day ago. I saw the new Hummer EV video, and I also saw like a review. Doug didn't do it, but I saw a review of the Rivian RT or R1T.
Yeah.
And they also did, there's reviews out there of the Cybertruck from Tesla. And I looked at all three of them. And I think that those three trucks put up against each other are going to be really, really, really different. Like, there's going to be a lot of turmoil. And there's going to be I want to see how each vehicle is going to do in its own testing category. Because I think the Hummer is really going to put up a good baseline. And not saying that the Rivian and the Cybertruck won't. I would have to say, out of all three of them, the Cybertruck looks the weirdest.
But it's probably most powerful.
Yes.
It's one.
I would say it's most powerful.
It's all electric motors that are working for it. I mean, you've got unlimited amounts of torque and everything. I mean, it's a perfect car. Just like I said, it's like you said, it's like the look for it. For me,
I'd buy the Hummer.
Yeah,
The Rivian looks really good.
The Hummer's cool. The only thing that has go for me for the Cybertruck is if you're a Halo player, you know about the Warhawk.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody knows about that. I find it fascinating to see, like, when I first started, like, getting into cars and, like, they were talking about electric vehicles. I think the only electric vehicle at the time was, like, just knockoffs of, like, I don't know. We had the Chevy Volt. We had the Prius. We had the Civic that were hybrids. But, like, we hadn't gotten that far in yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't that close to being an electric car at the time. And I think that now we've come out with such great technology that electric vehicles are just going to take off, literally. Like, well, they're literally going to take off.
That's going to be the future of everything, unfortunately. But
I'll never stop driving gas cars.
Oh, no. I mean, we're old school to heart. I don't care. I will probably never own an electrical car.
I might own one.
Unless it's a Chevy Volt. I don't know about you. If you've ever driven a Chevy Volt, those things have some freaking torque.
Yeah, but they're kind of junk. They're made like a...
The first year, 2011, for the Chevy Volt, I would have to say is the best year of the Volt. Because,
not the last one?
No. The last year was terrible. Sorry. The thing about 2011 Chevy Volt is, one, it was ahead of its time. I mean, one of my teachers at school actually has one, and it's pretty freaking impressive.
Oh god, what other electric vehicles were out? I mean, you usually had hybrids. There wasn't any, like, full electric vehicles. Because like the Hummer EV, the Rivian, and the Cybertruck are all full electric vehicles.
See, I'm not a fan of the full electric. I don't see the point of it.
I kind of do, but I kind of don't. Because, like, there's a lot of, like, misinformation out there. People say that electric cars are going to be great for the environment. It takes they're being built in a factory that's putting out more harmful chemicals into the air than the cars are.
See, what people don't understand about, about these new electrical cars that are being built, and everybody correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I was taught, and this is what I know, that in school, at least they told us that when you're building an electrical car, say a Tesla, for example, that the amount of emissions that it actually takes to build one car is the amount of emissions a car would put out within 5 years. Mm-hmm. So either way, there's really no going green. No, you're not really saving. I mean, yes, keeping plastic and crap out of the ocean, but for a car standpoint, for polluting and emissions,
it's never going to go away.
You're actually just making it worse by building electric cars because of the materials they use. Not only that, but you want to talk about plastic and crap? Me and you put in over 15 miles of electrical wire in a car.
Oh yeah.
And people don't know
More
that.
than that.
People don't even know that. You put I'm talking about, you take every single strand of wire, you put it together.
Yeah.
You could probably take, and I think in a regular car, let's just say
power a neighborhood.
let's just say your Crown Vic, for example.
Yeah.
It's not a lot. There's probably a good 3-4 miles worth of wire in that car. If you stretch every strand out, there's probably a good 3-4 miles. In a Tesla, you're looking at 20-30 miles of wire. I mean, it's impressive what they do, but at the same time, it's just like
that's a lot of fucking wire.
Yeah.
Excuse my language, but jeez, man, like 15 miles. That's from my house
that's mine. That's like to the lake.
You can get to Lake Ontario from my house.
Yeah, that's not right.
I don't know. It just like I will own an electric car at some point, whether it be of a different I think, believe it or not, I actually think that the new F-150 is kind of cool. Yeah. I kind of shied away from Ford after my dad got rid of his 5.4 liter Triton, and I convinced him to go Chevy because it was actually you that convinced me to think Chevy because they're the better half, really.
The only reason why I like Chevy is because of their trucks.
They're easy to work on.
Not only that, but if you look at now they just switched to the LTs, but the LS, I mean even the LT, it's direct fuel injection. It's basically just a small block 350 with
it's just bored out a little more
with all the fancy amendments of electronics and everything. I mean, that's all it really comes down to compared to what we've had in the past. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll say this:
they make great power for what they are.
Well, for a GM vehicle, they're very, very. They're very easy to.
They're very efficient.
They are, and every car's got its problems. You can't just say, oh, Ford sucks, oh, Chevy sucks, oh, Dodge sucks. They all suck
in their own way.
No, yeah, we have our own particular brands. Me, I'm a Chevy person, and I know you're a Chevy person at heart too.
I'm
kind of
a mix because there's different vehicles that I like from Chevy, and then there's different vehicles I like from Ford because I like a lot of the Ford cars.
See, and that's how I am.
But too. I love Chevy trucks,
and that's how I am too about it. And it just. How do I say this?
And I like most cars. I don't disagree with a lot of newer vehicles that come out. But
it's funny because I've never owned a Silverado. Nothing like that. I'll say this. I think I've worked on more Silverados than I actually have F-150s within the shop. And that's because, one, a lot more people own a Chevy than a Ford. You'd be really surprised. And a lot of the people that own a Chevy, unless you're owning a Super Duty and you're planning to do work with it, a lot of people use a regular 1500 to do crazy amounts of work that a F-150 really can't. I mean, even the EcoBoost F-150, which, God bless that freaking truck. That thing is a torque monster.
Yeah, they are torque.
But they're not what people really think they are.
No, they're not. I mean, you could say the same thing with Dodge is kind of the underdog when it comes to the big three, because Dodge.
I'll say that.
After the second gen body style Cummins came out, and they were done with that, and they showed America what you can make a truck look like and feel like and drive like, and that truck paved the way for newer trucks in America. If you really think about it,
yeah.
The only other vehicles that were, or the other trucks that came out at the time, didn't even look like that thing. That truck had completely different styling, completely different engineering, completely different mechanics, and it was way... I wouldn't say this. For the time, it was way better than the competitors, probably. I would say.
100% I would say so as well.
But now, not really. They're still great trucks, but they do bad in our environment here because of our salt and our winters and stuff like that, and the engines, they last forever, believe it or not. The diesel engines last literally for... You can't kill them.
I mean, I'll put it this way. You keep up with basic maintenance, doing your oil changes, doing fluid swaps.
And plugs. Glow plugs.
Well, no, that's for a block heater. But you switch what you have to. I mean, I'm going to say this. You do all the maintenance on your truck, the motor and transmission will outlast the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you live
and we know that personally.
Yeah, unless you live in a climate where your truck will rot out like we do in upstate New York. Lovely upstate New York.
And we know somebody personally with a short bed.
That's what we do.
That has a vehicle that is literally rotted to the frame.
Yep.
And it's still driving. God bless that truck.
I know quite a few people like that. I don't know if that's really safe, but...
No, it's not safe.
Oh, well.
But they're still on the road. Nobody's going to
vehicles.
stop them. They are great trucks, but they're one of my favorite body style-wise. I think they were such a cool-looking truck when they came out, and it reminds me of the one that my dad had. Because that's all I could think. I was so young, I didn't realize how big it was, or how small it was, actually. Because when I was younger, I thought that truck was huge. And they're really they're a full-size truck, but they're nothing huge.
No. They're...
Unless you got a 2500 or a 3500.
Yeah, but
that was the only
those were...
They weren't that big as much the ones today. The ones today are blocky as hell.
Compared today, the ones are massive.
Yeah. But if you really think about it, after that generation, Dodge wasn't really doing... They weren't doing crazy. They had their common rail generation, and not saying that was a bad truck, but it kind of fell off the map. And then they came out with the newer body style, and Dodge paved a way for trucks again in America. And it became a competitor that Chevy and Ford looked down on, and it actually ended up being probably better than the two. Better, in my opinion, better than the other two. I think that the 5.7 has got way more torque and way more power than a 5.3, or equal. But
I mean,
they are the underdog when it comes to muscle in an engine. They really are, because you just don't expect it coming from Dodge.
Nope. The only thing that I have to say about Dodge, though, is...
Their cars are heavy.
Yes. That's my only thing. Like, if we're talking from a car standpoint...
Their muscle cars are so heavy.
Excuse me, but Jesus Christ. I mean...
How do you make a 4,000-pound four-door car go 200 miles an hour?
Yeah, I mean, how the hell do you... don't get me wrong. Cool cars. Like, very, very cool cars. Yeah, actually great cars. I personally drove a Hellcat, a 2019, and I'll say this.
Ours was 2018.
It was a very, very,
They're solid cars.
Yeah, it was a very different car. I mean, I was very surprised at how, yeah, it's a heavy car. You don't really feel the body roll in the new ones. The old, 15, 16 ones were,
Yeah.
Like, the Challenger style is scary. That car's scary. Those ones are the ones with body roll. The new ones are...
They probably improved a little bit, but I got the chance to drive a 2017 Hellcat. I said 2018, it's actually 2017. And it was in a local area named Henrietta. And I was driving Jefferson Road, if anybody knows, and it was a maroon Hellcat, one of the most popular colors in that car. And the owner, I won't say anybody's name, but he told me, he's just like, just ramp on it a little bit on the gas. I did. And I mean, we had it in track mode. I didn't even know it was in track mode because I had never driven one of these cars before.
See, and that's the thing.
The two wheels in the rear started spinning, and I'm like, this car's literally only good for going in a straight line. Once you start moving around with it and turning and trying to go fast in turns and stuff, it just, no.
No.
I'm just going to say that, no.
That's one thing about the Hellcat is it's a very powerful car, even from the factory. You do a small pulley tune, some methanol injection, interchiller on the supercharger, and some E85, and you are very capable of pulling, 900 plus wheel horsepower. Yeah. I mean, that's very, very impressive for a factory motor and trans that you can literally slap everything on, make 1,000 crank horsepower, and the motor basically just laughs at you because it's still not enough horsepower. Mm-hmm. And with 900 horsepower, the Hellcat does officially wake up. Yeah. I will say that right now. The stock Hellcat, they only truly make like a true 538 wheel. Still fast as hell. I mean, great cars.
And they do great quarter mile, eighth mile times.
And I'm only saying that horsepower for the original Hellcat, not the new Hellcats. I don't know what the true dyno horsepower is on the new ones, but I'm pretty sure it's right around like
that's a lot.
I would say like 630 wheel. They claim 700, but it's 700 crank.
That's a lot.
You got a factor, yeah.
It's a lot for a stock car.
Oh yeah, but you also look at the new ZR1.
Yeah.
I mean, they're putting
down the ZR1,
but they're putting down legit 600 plus wheel. I mean, that's impressive.
I mean, the ZR1 though, it's marketed as a different vehicle though. That's Chevy's like staple point vehicle. That is Chevy's muscle vehicle. The Challenger and the Charger are also marketed towards the daily driving scene because they come with a V6.
And we're gonna have to see how the new C8 does. Mm-hmm. I mean, the new C8. I'll say this: the base C8, like the Stingray,
they're cool.
How the 14 Stingray came out as a Corvette. I'll say this right now: the new C8, it's stupid. Cool looking car. Yeah, it's got some power, some engine. But it's pretty sad when a stock E60 M5 can pass him from a 2008 M5 can pass a 2020 Corvette that's supposed to be yada who yada this, and yeah, it's embarrassing. If I spend 85 grand on a brand new C8 Corvette, and I'm talking a fully optioned one, and I got beat by a car that has a lot of issues.
How many years older?
Oh God, 12 years old. If we're talking a 2020 C8, it's me and my buddy with his 135. We were out one night racing around, and this is at the time my M5 was stock. And I think I only had a muffler delete on it at the time. And guy was talking smack in his C8. My buddy's 135. Dude, this thing cooked. I mean, it pulls on my M5, you know. Huh?
Is it the red one?
No, it's the black one. And, dude, this thing pulled hard as heck. I couldn't believe this little 135. Like, it's pretty scary what these cars are coming to nowadays. But, you know, even my old little V10, I mean, this C8 took off. I mean, yeah, with an automatic transmission, he was ahead of me about a car. I look down, we're doing 120. I look up, I'm starting to pass him doing 135. I look down again, I'm doing 160. I'm looking in the rearview mirror. He's about 7-8 cars back.
Yeah, it's a little...
I mean, that's embarrassing. I
feel like that car would perform better on a road course. Oh,
on a track, 100%. It would whoop my M5's ass. But I'm just saying, though, for a street car, there's something that's supposed to be a street car.
Yeah.
Or at least a track street car. It should be able to have the capabilities. Now, I know they're going to have the Z51 package.
Is that really what they're calling
it? Or ZR1 or whatever.
Are they doing a Z06?
I think they're going to do a supercharger package, and they're going to do something with it. But we're actually waiting on Haltech and a few other ECU companies to do unlocks on the stock C8 ECUs. Because, I mean, there's a lot of people that are already twin turboing them, and they're breaking the horsepower barriers already with it. I mean, now I'm not saying 750 horsepower is a lot, but going from 440 wheel to 700 wheel horsepower, I'm just slapping on turbos and no conjunction to the ECU. I'm talking just making simple changes like doing fueling and stuff like that, bigger injectors. I mean, people are modifying everything, and these cars, even without tuning, or if they do have minimal tuning now, they're breaking 700 wheel like it's cake. I mean, it's like these car companies, like or not car company, but like you look at Lamborghini in GTRs. You got Underground Racing, Superior, or Dallas Performance, any of those companies, Heckner.
Texas Speed, too.
You got Sheepy.
Texas Speed?
Texas Speed does all the American stuff. But, and then you look at GTR, you got AMS Performance, I think it's EKS or whatever it is, and they, I mean, come on, 4,000 horsepower GTRs.
Hennessy.
Yeah, their new Venom.
Hennessy's are nuts.
Hennessy Venom, that is one of
Anything that comes from Hennessy is nuts.
Yeah, the only thing I have a grudge on with Hennessy is their pricing. Their pricing
and they take a long time to
Their pricing's just a little much.
But if you think about it though, it's a Hennessy. It's literally a one of a kind.
Oh. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, we need these new cigars made. Actually, got these little decals. Don't know if you guys can see them or not on the camera. But
oh yeah, I showed that in the last one.
Yeah, these things are sweet.
Yeah,
we're super excited to actually make a few ashtrays out of them. And actually, we're gonna see how.
Yeah, we're gonna
hold them up now.
we're gonna inlay these into the ashtray, and let me get a brush here because that's intolerable. But I don't know. Like it just seems like. It seems like some of these cars that are coming out, like, they can almost come out with too much horsepower for someone like you and I to own them. And, like, I don't know how to explain it because, like, I haven't had enough experience, really. So I don't really think it's my opinion to say. But I feel like, just kind of, doing some duties here. Sorry. We're getting very, very sidetracked here.
Yep.
That's okay.
As I'm sitting over here sending my streaks for Snapchat. Yeah, I don't know why I still do that, but
what do you call it? I just feel like there's almost just too much horsepower out there. And when I say that, like, these cars, some of them, like, make so much horsepower that they can't even be streetable. Like,
no, and it's honestly kind of sad, but you know what? That's what makes it fun. I mean,
yeah, I'm not saying it's not fun. It's just a lot of horsepower behind the wheel.
And actually, sooner or later, you guys are going to get to see some of our POV action from some of the cars that we're going to be driving this summer, and some of the cars we'll be cruising with. A lot of the big events
will be going to. Some of the cars will be racing.
Yes.
We'll be out. A lot of people that might be watching this know Empire Dragway is out in Leicester, New York. And it's a popular dragway out here.
Yep, and actually they do a
75 Hundo race.
Yep. And
we'll be out there.
It's gonna be it's a 3-day race event. It goes Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 7,500 each day. Box, no box, and
pro mod cars.
A few pro mod cars, yeah. Very, very, very cool event that goes on, and
yeah, and it was. We went this year. It was so much fun.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. Imagine waking up.
And hearing
over 300 cars with loud cams.
Yeah, like 300 race cars start up at I don't know
7 in the morning,
7, 8 in the morning, and you smell race gas.
The smell of race gas is in the air. I
know. It's an event like that just makes you feel
at home.
At home, but it's such a different environment.
It's something that's very therapeutic.
Yeah, it's such a different environment. It takes you away from real life. And what I mean by that is no rules besides, you got your typical track rules and the event rules, but...
And at the time there was a little bit of COVID rules, but not a lot.
Yeah, I mean the COVID rules.
We were all spread out and there was all socially
and that's what I like. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of people there, but you also look at these other car events. I mean, like Cletus and Cars. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was a lot of freaking people there.
A lot of people.
But you know what? COVID restriction or not, what I like, I think Cletus put a thing out where it said, enter at your own risk. Wear a mask if you want. And if you look at the video, there may have not been a lot of people wearing a mask. At the end of the day, if it spreads, it spreads. That's their choice. Mm-hmm. If you went to that event, it's your choice.
Florida's got a lot of different restrictions.
And do it. Would I care? Would I go there? Oh hell yeah! I'd go to the event.
I go.
Now, would I probably worn a mask just because of the amount of people? Yes.
And
that's just me, but that's my personal health. That's not somebody else's. And I think that's what a lot of people are actually failing to understand. And the only reason why I'm saying this is because I've seen a lot of people, even on Cletus's Instagram, Cletus is the cause of Florida spread. It's
No.
like, no.
No.
You look at the Beachers, I think at Cletus's event, he had maybe
1,000, 2,000
I think
people.
no, I think at max, I'm talking over the whole weekend, maybe 10,000 people.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this: there's over 100,000 people on the beaches. You tell me what spreads more, Cletus's event or some freaking nincompoops on a beach?
I hate getting political with all this because.
And I do too, but at the same time, it's like
you have to make your point.
You gotta get down to real life, man. It's
And-
not. I'm sorry, but it just makes me angry watching all the people talk so much crap, and then it's just like, but you go out every night to race nights, or you guys go out party, and then you're like, oh, how did I get COVID? I was only around like 6 people. Who cares? It's your choice.
But so my whole deal with it is, no government official is going to tell me when I can and cannot wear a mask.
Yeah.
When I'm at the track somewhere, or I'm in a store, or I'm in near somebody's house for a party, and they come up and ask me to wear a mask, I'll wear a mask. I'm not going to be a jerk, and I'm not going to be stupid about it. If you ask me to wear a mask somewhere that's not my property, I'll wear one.
Yeah.
But no government official is going to tell me when I can and cannot wear a mask. Doesn't mean that I'm not wearing a mask out in public. I am. But when did you I hate getting political with it, but the governor out in Oregon was telling elementary school kids to rat on their families.
Yep, and then there was
how does that make any sense to
but
me?
even look for Thanksgiving, the California governor, man.
Yeah.
I mean, why? Call the police. I love that here in New York that our lovely sheriffs here decided to, which God bless them, how they do it every day.
Mm-hmm.
I love how they said, pretty much F you, and we're going to do what we want. And we're not enforcing calling the police on families because they have more than 5 cars at their house. I seen some on Facebook.
What kind of drugs are you on?
Yeah, but I seen something on Facebook which was absolutely hilarious. What the hell was it? And nothing against Cuomo or anything, but it said something about me on Thanksgiving having 17 cars at my house. Cuomo pulls up, looks in all the cars with no motors. They're all project cars.
Yeah.
And it's just like yeah. It's all project cars, and he only had 2 cars there, family. And I don't know, it's just this is the worst time right now.
Yeah.
And
it's really weird.
Whether this vaccine that they have coming out is going to be legit, I don't really care. They need to start putting it in people's bodies. Am I going to be the first person to take it? Probably not, because we probably won't get it here like that.
We're New York.
Yeah.
We don't do anything fast. We don't do anything fast. Our officials in Albany and New York City don't like to do anything fast, if anybody knows. Nothing in New York State happens fast.
Nope.
Not saying that's a bad state to
But
live in. But you really miss out on a lot of stuff that a lot of other states get to do, and a lot of rules and regulations that a lot of people really want in New York State, and it's never gonna happen. And I hate getting political about it, but New York State's always gonna be a Democratic state no matter what, because of New York City.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Unless what they did with Washington D.C. and make it its own district, which will never happen.
No, they wanted to separate New York for quite a while and make it its own thing, but at the same time, there's no, I don't know.
Yeah. We're getting off topic though. We need to get back into cars.
Yeah, I'm actually just currently looking at some car stuff.
But
regardless of all that bull crap and whatever you guys believe in it, at the end of the day, we're all people. I think we need to just grow up and let it move on. But as we're getting back into some of the car stuff here, I really haven't seen too much for new car content this week, and actually,
there wasn't a lot, though.
No, I mean there was a little bit, but I'm gonna say this: in the springtime and stuff, you guys just got to keep your eyes open, and
open.
Freaking just keep an eye out for all the events that we're going to be doing here in upstate New York, and I mean we're pretty much going to go to all the car stuff.
I'm gonna try.
With work and stuff, you do what you could do, but obviously we got race nights here in Rochester. We got race nights in Buffalo, which those race nights get wild. It'll be racing from 9 o'clock at night till 5 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also have you also have all the car events, like we got Cars and Coffee.
Which not a lot of them happened this year because the local place called the Little Speed Shop hosts them, and they were really concerned with COVID, which is not a bad thing. I get it.
And the only thing that we did this year is a private group
with we just got a bunch of friends together.
With all the other car people. We got quite a lot of supercars out too. I mean, we do a thing. Well, not we go to a thing called Gigi's Playhouse, and that event is pretty much for charity and stuff to raise money for kids. And we could put a whole link in the description saying what it's about, this and that.
Yeah, I'll put one in there.
And it was such a fun event. I mean, you've got supercars. Everything. It was something. I mean, for a Rochester scene.
People don't understand.
For cars that you wouldn't expect to see here, it is very, very, very interesting to see. I mean, look, we got people in McLaren 720s. We even have a guy with a brand new Ford GT.
Yeah.
Brand new Ford GT in Rochester, New York.
And he's from Buffalo.
Yeah, but still New York, upstate New York.
Came to the event.
I mean, you got to look at it this way. A lot of people underestimate upstate New York and what. Not saying what people have, but what people have worked for.
Yeah, like you see places like L.A., Miami, Dallas, Houston, Vegas. I don't know. I can go off and list off a bunch of other cities that are really known for their Atlanta, that are known for supercar scenes, and they're out all year long because of the climates that they live in. We have a seasonal climate here, and we have a seasonal car community here. Yeah, not a lot really goes on in the winter. I mean, you have a lot of people really just posting on social media.
Yeah, it's mostly just pretty much what you're doing to your car in the winter, getting it done, realizing that spring's right around the corner, and the car still hasn't been touched, and then it also comes down to. At least for us, being for who we are, what we do, it comes down to the budgeting for the summer. I mean, I know me, I go to a crap ton of car events. I mean, a lot more than you have.
Yeah, I try to make them out. I try to make it out there, but at the same time, I don't really. The thing is with me,
it's not.
I want to have a car to bring to that event. My car, I can bring it to that event, and it's cool and everything. It's still a Crown Vic at the end of the day. And it's not like the other cars. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to bring that car out there. I just want something sporty to bring out there.
I like how it is for. How can I say this? I like how it is for the Rochester race nights, like the Charlotte nights at the beach there. It's I mean they get pretty intense. Don't get me wrong, and I know the first of this year is going to be pretty wild. But I miss the old days of Charlotte where you go down. You chill for hours and hours and hours.
Talk with people.
Sit around and there's Abbott's right across. You get ice cream.
Yeah.
You go back. You talk with people. You actually get to know about people's cars. It's not about going there and being like, "Oh yeah, dude, I'm the fastest," because that's not what that's what it seems like now.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, racing's fun. Don't get me wrong. Street racing, track racing, anything like that. Making great horsepower, stuff like that. It's very fun. But at the end of the day. There comes to a point where, I mean, you even see it on Snapchat and stuff, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Everybody's posting a car meet almost every night now. I think what's happened is that the car scene has actually got so erotic here in Rochester.
Yeah, it just doesn't stop.
That, it could be, like tonight, there was a car meet at the beach.
And it was wet out.
It's misty. So yeah, wet.
It's wet.
It's wet, cold, and it's just like
Like, what are you guys doing?
It's like, okay, we already put the cars away a month ago. At least
the cars, because the ones that are out there right now, I was never there, but I don't think they're making a lot of power.
Yeah, it's mostly just a bunch of Hondas. I mean, I will say there's quite a few Hondas out here in the Rochester car scene that are pretty impressively fast. I mean, even for my stock M5, I raced I think it was an EK hatch. It was all black, and dude, made 450 wheel. It was ahead of me about a bumper. I mean, I'm very, very impressed with the performance of.
They are not a car to mess with, really.
No, and I'm very, very impressed with how these people, they get these power numbers out of these cars. I mean, for a little four banger to make 600 wheel, and front wheel drive is very cool.
That's a lot of power.
And
I'm actually in the current. I mean, I've got my own current situation. I'm doing a couple little, not really modifications. I mean, it is maintenance to my car. I was actually going to an eye appointment, and I left work early, and was coming off of 590. If anybody knows where that is. And I was going west, so I was going on the downtown Rochester exit, and I was there. I must have just been riding the white line, and I hit a pothole, and it bent my rear passenger rim, and I got down in between Monroe and Culver, and I was sitting there for a while, and I was really frustrated with myself because I just wasn't prepared for that situation. And you would think with some of the knowledge that I gained and the things that I've done
and stuff, but.
And I didn't have everything I needed with me to change the spare, and even when I got the spare on, the spare was flat. So there was really nothing I could do. I wasn't. It wasn't even my fault. I wasn't expecting to hit a pothole that day.
Welcome to New York.
Yeah, and when I say it was a pothole,
it was a crater.
It was not a pothole. It was an understatement. It was a small ravine.
Yeah, that's the problem here in upstate New York with using salt and the plows.
The state's just lazy. The highway, not saying that the construction workers are lazy, the highway department and their choices are lazy.
The only problem that I have with
they don't update the roads quick enough.
Well, they say they don't have enough money, but welcome to New York State. We're the highest tax state.
We have enough money
in the country. We're the highest tax state in the country. And
we have enough money.
You would think being the highest tax state in the country, we get some decent roads. Nope. Unless you go up to the Adirondacks where they don't plow, because a lot of the roads...
They don't salt it, really.
Well, because a lot of the roads up there are seasonal, and you're technically required to have snow chains in certain parts of the Adirondacks.
Now, some of their roads up there are pretty rough.
And actually,
they're old.
Getting back to hitting your pothole, I can actually relate to the same thing. I took my M5 to New York City this past summer, and coming back from New York City after getting a lovely 3 parking tickets, walking 30 seconds away from my car, they're on top of it, man. I mean, it's impressive. I'll give that to New York City parking enforcement.
They're doing their job.
They do their job, right on. But you know what? I'm going to say this. Coming out of New York City, my car decided to misfire on all 10 cylinders. Yippee me.
It's not very
Now, I was going to New York City to buy a bunch of apparel, stuff like that. Go shopping, like a typical...
Just go a
little spend me on myself time.
And I guess you could call it a staycation, not really. Because you're in the same state, so you're not really vacationing.
No, but it was nice because it was kind of a getaway to go relax, go get some new stuff. This is my second time ever visiting New York City. I absolutely love New York City, just for the views and, for what it is. I mean, yes, is it the greatest city? No, because one, poverty's kind of crap, smells. I'm being brutally honest, it smells like piss. And...
It's what you get for being in a big city.
Yeah, I mean,
it's one of the biggest cities in the world.
It's city life. But you know what? I'll say this. Coming out of there, I was very, very angry that my car misfired on all 10 cylinders. But me as an owner, for owning an M car, I should have took the experience and from others, and I should have did the maintenance and stuff way before. Let's see, this $600 that I actually had saved to go to New York City, buy clothing, use it for food and stuff, I ended up blowing about $900 on spark plugs and coil packs for my M5 to drive home. Otherwise, I was just going to have to spend another $1,100 to have the car trailered from New Jersey back here to Rochester, New York, and I was not letting that happen.
Yep.
So I decided to make the choice. And now I have really, really good running car. The car's making great power. And it's actually currently getting its, well, quote-unquote secret stage 2, well, V2 of its current style, which will be coming back as a absolute monster, and should be some interesting content for you guys.
Fun experiment.
I think you guys are going to be pretty interested in that. I mean, for a car that comes from the factory that can do 200 miles an hour.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it
should not be street legal.
It's pretty scary that a family sedan, 4-door sedan.
It's classified as a super saloon.
Yes, well, that's what they do call it. And I mean, it's pretty sad that, you know, even like an 06 or 05 or 04 Lamborghini Gallardo, you would think, oh, I spent $90,000 on a Gallardo. That M5? Bye-bye. I mean, yeah, the M5s compare. It'll keep up right with the Lamborghini to 140. Then the Lamborghini, I don't know, some of the Lamborghini, about its gear, when you get in the 5th or 6th, it just dies off. Dude, the M5 just goes 2, 3, 4, 5 cars ahead. I mean, top end.
What are you doing there?
Well, I'm just going back and forth.
You're rocking the table here.
No, I don't know. There's a lot of cars out there that are very, very underestimated. Now, I bought the M5 because, one, V10. I was like, what can I get that's a V10 that I don't have to pay a freaking arm and a leg for? The first car I looked at was actually
the Viper.
No, the first car This is complete. Would never happen. I actually looked at a Lexus LFA.
Oh god.
Like as a no, just as a car to see what performance the thing actually offered. Never driven one. I've only seen one in person, and great car, but
they're ridiculous. They are so crazy.
They're not what I expected. So I figured, all right, let's think what the next V10 is. Let's go down. Lamborghini Gallardo.
A little too expensive.
Still roughly the same prices. But as you know, it was a lot less than the LFA. The LFA now is kind of $400,000.
More than that. They get up to $500,000.
The Nürburgring edition. But the Lamborghini Gallardo, very cool car. Nowadays, you can pick one up for $65,000 to $80,000, which is very, very impressive. And I'm not talking low miles, kind of high. I don't know. I really, really strived to save for that, but at the same time, I was also 17, and yeah, that wasn't going to happen. So I thought at the time, I was like, all right, so what's the next V10 down? Dodge Viper. Now, it's still a reasonable car, and
they make a lot of
I could probably obtain doing that. Like, you know, if I work my ass off, I could probably buy one, but again, I don't know.
Their maintenance is really, really weird.
That's the only thing, but I mean, I'm a mechanic.
Finding parts
I do everything myself. I wouldn't care. The only thing that I didn't like about the Viper was it has no safety. Not the Viper I want. The ACR or the 99 GTS. There's no ABS. There's no traction control. There's nothing like that. Don't get me wrong. Great, cool cars because it's a true street track. But compared to like,
and their fit and finish is like.
No, the only other issue I had with the Viper too, which I actually test drove I think it was an 08. It was not an ACR. It was just a regular Viper, the convertible, red. And the only problem I had with it, I got out of the car, I put my leg on the door sill. I almost burned a hole through my leg.
Oh, the exhaust, yeah.
There's a warning on the door sill. You're not supposed to touch the door sill with any part of your skin, or it gives you third, fourth degree. I say fourth degree burns because it burned through so quick. I mean, for a car to warn you that you don't want to put your leg on it because it gets so hot right there, that's impressive.
It's Dodge for you, but I've heard their fit and finish is like a Fisher Price wagon.
Yeah.
No, I heard that from one of my buddies, and I just laughed at it because I'm just like, if a car is built like a Fisher Price wagon on the inside, like he was talking about the interior.
Well, and
that's really bad for a supercar.
That's why I went down to, all right, let's do the M5 or the M6 V10. one very nostalgic car, last V10 in a family sedan,
Yeah.
or the only V10 in any sedan, I believe, besides the E61 wagon.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to choose that car. One, full leather, heated and AC seats for 2008.
Bolster.
Active bolster seats, so when you turn, the seats turn with you, or the bolsters push you out so you don't feel body roll. It's got adaptive headlights like most Volkswagens and Audis have nowadays. Again, for 2008 technology, heads-up display, man. I mean, that's insane. It's got M mode, all the crazy crap. The one thing I love about it is you can shift with the paddle, you can shift with the shift stock. It's got automatic mode, but let's be honest,
nobody wants that.
No. The car makes great power if you're a person that's looking just for a starter, for a fun car. Now me, I've had quite a few cars. And
let's turn this on here. It's getting a little chilly in here.
Yeah, let's see if that.
Yeah, beautiful. Might be a little loud on film.
Yeah.
Might have to speak up a little bit, but we're in a ventilated shop here.
The one thing is, if you're going to buy an M5, I'm going to say this. Doesn't matter about the miles. It's actually the year. If you're a person that's looking to resell it, a 2008 and up is probably going to be your best bet. I had the first gen in 2008. 2006 is when they came out. It was the worst year for the M5, of course, because first year.
First year for any car is bad.
Yeah. The only thing about the Gen 2 M5, well, I said Gen 1 for 2008. Gen 1 of Gen 2. Weird to explain it that way. The only thing about the Gen 2 is that it had better rod bearing clearances. LCI, so it's all LED. And you get the different design, taillights, headlights, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing crazy to it.
They're beautiful.
Great cars, comfortable. I took that car to New York City twice. Took it to the Poconos. Well, actually, that car's been in Poconos twice. So it's been in New York City and Poconos twice. I actually drove that car from Baltimore, Maryland, all the way to Rochester. 6-hour drive straight. I remember picking up that car for the first time, getting onto the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and I did 175.
Accidentally.
Yeah, it actually was accidentally, because I truly just was having so much fun. I didn't care to look down to see how fast I was going. I just looked up. I'm in the top of 6th. It says 170, 175. I'm just like, holy crap! That's when I realized, it's like,
you're in a supercar.
For a family sedan that can move like a supercar, it was a very, very, very cool experience for me. And I'm very proud of myself for busting ass.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's funny because before I actually had the idea for the podcast back around when you started looking for a faster car to get into after you were done with the Trans Am, and I believe you to a certain extent.
Yeah.
That you were gonna get the M5, and a lot of people were like that.
A lot of people did.
When you actually got it, I was just like, this is just gonna be different from now on.
See, I always told myself I was going to get an M5, and I worked 2 years for that car. It took me a good year and a half to find it. I was actually sitting on my porch one day just looking online on Facebook Marketplace, and I so happened to roll across one ad, and
it was that one?
I asked. Didn't seem like a real ad because of the, all this crap with COVID going on. I asked. The guy was very not responsive. It was kind of a shit show, to be honest. Then he was like, all right, so let's set up a time to meet. I went down a week, I think the week after, on a weekend Friday, and I left at 4 in the morning because this guy told me his shop closes at 10 or 11 o'clock. So we made it to Baltimore by 10, or like 10:30ish, and I get into Baltimore. We get to this place called Leading Edge Auto Body, and I see the car sitting out there. At the time, I'm with my mom. I look at her. I told her something I never thought I'd tell anybody. That car's coming home no matter what. And at the time, when I test drove it, I didn't realize the guy was also not the same guy I talked to on Facebook, which this is where it really sketched me out. But the first thing he does before I actually get in and test drive the car, I walk around the building, there's a Ferrari 488. He goes, here, hop in. Maybe this will decide your mind. Now, I guess he's had a lot.
That's a V12. Huh?
No, that's
V10.
4.4 twin turbo V8. Or
Really?
no, or 4.0 twin turbo V8. Yeah, 488 GTB or whatever the 488 is. Beautiful car.
They are beautiful.
Wicked fast too. You know,
so
with that
nice.
turbo power, the torque is just there. And I remember.
Their fit and finish is so
I remember he
incredible.
shows me the exact route that he wanted me to take in the M5 to get on the highway and speed. I'm just like, dude, there's no way this guy's just giving me permission to take a freaking car that I came to see and open this shit up. I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel like that's some VinWiki shit right there.
Yeah, that's
it was a
bullying
really-
stuff right there.
It was a really cool experience because when I picked up, or when I came back in the Ferrari 488 GTB, he pretty much gave me the keys to the M5 at this point, told me to get in, told me to drive the same route, and I had my mom with me, so this was an interesting ride.
Yeah.
Of course, I've never felt the power of an M5 like behind my hands. So I get on the expressway, and I'm not shifting red line because one, I don't own the car yet, and I actually take the car out. The first thing that comes on is a transmission warning light, transmission malfunction light. Now I knew that the car was going to do this because I knew the car sat for a while. A lot of these E60, E63 M5s have an issue where the trans sensors freak out, but once you get to driving the car, they never come back on. And good thing for my case, that was true. I scanned the car for codes, no codes for the transmission, no codes for the engine, nothing for DME. And when I actually took the car for a drive, I was very impressed. I only got up, I think, to 6,000 RPM. And in that car, that's not full power. So I was like, all right, I'm going to make an offer on the car. He had the car originally listed for 15. I said, what's the lowest you go? He said 13. I told him I'll do 11 cash today. And he said yes. And it was just weird because the guy that I bought it from was not the same guy I talked to on Facebook.
That's how a lot of deals are sometimes.
So it was very, very sketchy to me, but at the same
Yeah.
time, since the guy also gave me a ride in his Ferrari 488 and was very, very
Color
chill, bright red.
Oh, so it's just
Like,
very good.
yeah, Ferrari red. Beautiful car. Blacked out wheels. I mean, it was a specced out car. Beautiful car.
And their fit and finish is incredible.
I love what he says. He goes, yeah, the only reason why I let this car go for 11 grand today is because I need to make more room so the wife doesn't kill me when I buy the next one.
That's really a lot of guys' circumstances.
And
they have that.
it was
kind of
really
money.
cool to me. You know, we go to the bank, blah, 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 hand over the shit. He's taking the license plates off the cars. He looks at me, he goes, leave the plate on in the back. He goes, drive it home. I heart sank. I was like, dude, we gotta tow this sucker all the way back to New York. I threw insurance on it within the hour, and I was doing 100 plus the whole way home. No, like I said, the first time I realized that the car shifted that hard was when I made it to red line, and you can testify for the shifts. They're neck breaking. They feel okay.
Literally, when you got back here and you took me on a ride for it, I nicknamed that car the neck breaker because the car's shifts will throw you into the seat.
I'll say this.
If you're not ready for the shifts, it'll surprise you. They'll come up quick.
The one fun thing about that car, about the shifts, is how was it?
They're so just aggressive. Like
They're so aggressive, but at the same time,
they're
it's
fun.
How can I describe the shifts? The shifts are like a freaking dump truck.
Well, it's a dual clutch.
Yeah. Well, no, it's single clutch, but it's got a twin disc.
Yeah.
So
it acts
it's
like a
upgraded
dual
clutch, whatever.
So it acts like a dual clutch.
Yes.
If anybody knows what a dual clutch transmission
it doesn't
feels
act,
like.
It doesn't act like a dual clutch. It's got a twin disc clutch. So it's the same thing that's used in a DCT, but it's not. It's SMG 2 or 3 or whatever. We're up to now. BMW's too far.
They're
the only way I can describe that transmission in that car is like a freaking truck hitting a brick wall every time it shifts.
yeah, pretty much.
It's very, very unforgiving. And actually, when I was driving the car back from Maryland, I was in Harrisburg, and man,
Close to where I was probably good.
this is what I realized. When I realized, holy shit, this thing sucks in traffic. What the hell did I just buy? Then actually getting it up to New York, I was very happy with the car because I learned how to kind of pedal it like a manual transmission car, and I was easing onto the gas, easing off the gas, easing on, kind of like a manual car. This way it didn't jerk, this way it didn't jump, and I got to know the car very, very well, and I was very, very happy I got to learn it when I did, with a 6-hour drive all the way back. And, then I came back up and I shared the experience with you guys.
Yeah.
And
I was one of the first people to ride in that car.
You were the first person to ever ride in that car, besides my brother and my dad. And the one thing that I'm going to say is, from where I started owning that car, now to where I am, and now what I'm planning to do to it, it's
going to become even crazier.
That car is going to become scary. And I was scared of it when I first bought it because of the power. They got 400, like a true 445 wheel at the time. I was scared shitless. The fastest thing I had was a Trans Am that made 320 wheel horsepower. What the hell did I know? Mm-hmm. And now that the car is actually going to be putting down close to, we're going to say, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to make about double its stock horsepower, I should say. Right around there. And, it's going to be a riot.
It's funny because, I think, and everybody's like this. Everybody's got their own different way of people that are into cars. Everybody that's into cars has got their own different way of how they want to own vehicles at some point in their life. And me, don't get me wrong, I love the fast cars. I love the performance vehicles, and I love that adrenaline rush of going fast. I live for it, and I love that rush that you get from being in a fast car. It's fun, and it's therapeutic, and it's like a beautiful thing. I'm more on the quirky side and the nerdy side of wanting to own cars. I want to own vehicles that nobody sees here in the area.
Yeah.
And you know that. I look at some of the dumbest things on Facebook Marketplace, and you can attest for it, because I'll be at work in the middle of the day on my lunch break, and you could probably literally say yes to some of this stuff. I will literally send you some of the stupidest things during the middle of the day on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, and I will say,
I want to own really, really dumb cars, because
I think all of us do. And I only bought something that's practical because at the time I was just like, I want something fun. But at the same time, with the amount of money they spent on that practical car, we could have bought a lot of dumb shit.
Yeah. I was currently in the looks for a beater for the winter, because I didn't really want to drive the Crown Vic through the winter, but now I've chosen to again. And
down the wrong hatch.
And
vitamin water.
Oh, COVID.
Oh, sorry. Here.
No, but I was looking at this 1990 Mazda B Series 4-wheel drive. It was a B2600 for a little while. And I was obsessed with this truck. I looked up a bunch of stuff about it. I did a bunch of research on it, and I made sure that if I was going to go buy this truck, that I knew what I was buying and I knew what I was getting into. And of course, like every other thing, it fell through and sold. So I just kept looking and looking and looking, and there wasn't anything else like it out there. So I just stopped looking at the time, and I just kind of hunkered down and just kept working and never really thought about it. And I mean, it's brought me here to where I am now. So I mean, I'm putting different wheels on my car with winter tires, and don't get me, those wheels look great on that car.
Oh yeah,
I love the way that they look.
Actually, sooner or later we're gonna probably be posting some pictures of the cars on the Cigars and Gars Instagram page.
Yeah. Once they're where I want them.
Probably not till the springtime. I've got after the big thing goes on with the horsepower, I'll let you know the sneak peek now. I got a lot of carbon fiber pieces that are going to be going on the car, at least body-wise, front lip, diffuser, side skirt. And, all interior, stuff like that. Make the car look presentable. Along with everything else that's already on it, the wheels, the lowering spring, and the car's going to be an absolute transformation from looking like a stock car. The only thing I did to it this past winter, or this past year, at least since the first year that I owned it, is I bought, what did I do? I did a full catback exhaust. It's all custom made.
Not to interrupt you, I'm going to close one of these doors.
Yeah, it's a little cold, man. We did What else did we do? We did painted the calipers red, whatever. I had the wheels actually professionally powder coated black or painted black, whatever.
Hey, make sure you get it right now. People are gonna be really, really critiquey in the comments.
Another thing that we also did to it was we did.
I did a few details on it.
Yeah.
I ceramic coated the whole thing.
Yeah, that car came out mint when I first got it back. Now it's got a bunch of rock chips because me being stupid, I should have spelled it.
You should have taken my advice. I literally told you as soon as you got the car.
I should have clear brawed the front bumper.
Go get a clear bra for the front because that car sits so low and it's got so many different aerodynamic points on the front of it. You're not gonna have to repaint your front bumper if you want a clear bra.
Yeah, I know their front bumper and the hood's gonna have to be repainted. I don't really care about that. Once it's repainted, it's gonna get clear broad.
Yeah.
And the
probably won't ever come off either.
The front lip's already clear broad. Side skirts I'm not worried about. Diffuser I'm not. Little side fins I'm not worried about. Stuff like that I don't really care about. You know. The car is in mechanically great condition right now. I mean, yeah, I'm doing rod bearings and a few other goodies. That car is going to be a very, very fast car for what it is. And actually, you guys will get to see it at MPAC next year for roll racing, which we will be doing a live video. Probably on my Instagram, at bacon_M5.
Yeah. Your name on there. It's different, but it's funny. I like the Instagram name. It's cool.
Pretty great freaking Instagram name considering my license plate legitimately says Bacon on it.
Yeah.
Only one in New York State that has a license plate that says Bacon.
Yeah.
Somehow I got it. I don't know. I was just sitting on the back porch.
I wonder what the people in Albany that were officially like mailing that thing out said.
Yeah, I wonder what the people that were making the plate. Son of a bitch.
We finally had someone that said Bacon on the back of their license plate.
I mean, it's pretty cool because it's just like, you know, it's unique.
It is unique.
Car's a unique car.
The most of my car content. I've got 2 Instagram pages. I've got my kind of just like my main, like I have my main Instagram page that's just my personal life and stuff like that, places I go during the summer and people I spend time with. And then I've got obviously this one for the podcast, and you'll see most of my car content on this podcast Instagram page.
Yeah, we want to.
I did not saying that I can't post it on my main. I just don't really want to because like my main doesn't really involve a lot of car stuff.
No, and I'll say this: my main, I have car stuff on there a lot more car stuff than me on there, unfortunately. But it's just the lifestyle I live. I grew up around cars. I've always loved cars. I'll probably never lose that lifestyle unless something changes, but. I don't know. I won't. There's not a day I don't talk something car related.
Yeah. And
as scary as that sounds, and it's like, wow, that's really weird.
Yeah, and it's funny because like non-car people that I know, like they hear me talk about stuff all the time, and it's like a completely different language. And for you and me to go back and forth and talk about stuff, it's like second nature. It's like speaking how we usually do. It's literally our language. It's our body language. It's our physical and verbal language. It's pretty much everything at that point. And I don't know. There's going to be a few things that I want to do to my car. At some point, I'm going to get a different vehicle so that I can actually modify the Crown Vic and make it into something that I want to. And I don't really know what route I want to go yet. And I was actually talking to you about this. I really want to, like, as redneck as it sounds, I want to put a 3-inch to 5-inch lift in that car. Because I've seen it done before. And I'm not going like the donk route. I would be doing the complete opposite. I'd be going more off-road route. As redneck as it sounds, they look incredible lifted with big tires on there and a roof rack and light bars and everything. They look incredibly good.
Yeah, I'll say this. Crown Vic is...
it's like one of the most modifiable cars out there.
It is. I love it.
It's a great platform.
I love it because as crazy as this sounds, you could take... And this is any car. You could... I'm not saying you would LS swap it, but it's pretty cool that you can take a Panther body or, any type of body car. You can even take a Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
You could swap. You could legally swap. Well, not legally, but you could legitimately swap a LS1, LS2, LS3, whatever, LS7, 454. If you have an ECU, then you could steal a VIN from a truck. Like, say you do it's an 06 Sierra, GMC Sierra, and the VIN actually, you could use that VIN, put it into an inspection machine. You could legally run that car through on that OBD, on that ECU, and you could legally pass inspection. Now I'm saying New York State inspection, and you can have the first LS swap Tesla. You can still drive it road legal and everything. Doesn't matter. As long as it's got blinkers, all the other yada.
Yeah, it'll have all.
You can legitimately LS swap anything as long as you have the ECU and you can make it happen. And that to me is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think some of the stuff that I'm gonna be doing. Obviously, I've got new rims now, and I'm gonna rock with those through the winter. But that's probably the only time that those rims are gonna see a winter. And the only reason why I bought these rims is because I need them. My other rim got bent. I can't run a car off of 3 rims. And they're like they're made by a company that literally is called Sport Rims. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they're licensed and contracted through Toyota, and they're on a lot of the luxury end of Acura, Infiniti, Lexus, stuff like that. And I found these on Facebook Marketplace for $650, and they had 245, 65, 17 Blizzak Bridgestone tires on there, winter tires. And I'm like, I can totally get this down to 500. And I got there, I saw the tires and the wheels, and I'm like, dude, pictures didn't do justice. And when I finally showed you today what they actually, or like a couple days ago, how much tread they had on them, there's like 3 or 4 seasons left in this. They're brand new.
Great tires too.
And
Blizzak's mega. They're expensive.
They're very expensive. And he wanted $650 for the set. And I'm like, what's the lowest you'll go? And he goes $550. I'm like, will you take $500 right here, right now, cash in me? And he said, yeah. And that's the thing. You have to have an art of haggling and negotiating with people in order to get deals like that. And I can tell you this much. That set of wheels and tires, together like that, is probably $1,000.
Oh yeah,
easily.
If we had to say brand new for brand new, you're probably looking at about $1,200 after tax.
Yeah, like from Fitment Industries or custom offsets, yeah, something like that.
Like I said, and they look killer on the car too.
They look
very
great.
surprised.
And
you know what we got to do now? We got to refresh the caliper paint eventually once we get everything else fixed.
After the winter, yeah.
I'm not gonna do it now. It's gonna look sweet.
But yeah, my plan. What?
Different color if you want.
Nah, I'll do blue. My goal is to rock those rims through the winter, and then I'm going to get either Steelies for the winter, or I'm going to get another OEM rim like I had. They call them fan blades. They're the 5-spoke OEM rim that comes with the LX. And I'm going to get it painted. Like I actually painted my rims because I knew I was going to be rocking them through the winter, and I didn't want them to corrode because they're alloy. And I actually just painted the face of them because, believe it or not, my axle seals in the rear are blown, and it actually kept the wheel. Yeah, it actually kept the wheels in good condition.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. I might do a few bolt-ons to the car.
I mean,
just to make a little bit more power. I might get a tune in it and put different rear end in it, different gearing.
Intake, tune, and gears, and you're set. I mean, you really don't have to do anything to the car.
The car's it's a great platform because it's a full frame vehicle. Yes, it's heavy, but it's got a Ford A8 rear end, and it's got a Mustang motor in it. Not saying that the Mustang motor is I think the Mustang motor is a 3-valve. This is a 2-valve.
Yep.
But you can still make power with it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the only thing that you should do, I do performance intake, or if you want to do intake manifold as well, You don't do injectors or anything, no fuel pump. Just do, once you get the tune, running on 93. Not saying 93 is going to make the world difference of power.
Yeah.
But you're looking at probably maybe 10, 15.
Or 90.
You're probably, well, that's actually like 98 ethanol.
Mm-hmm.
Or 98 octane, excuse me. No, you're probably looking at an honest, with that car, if you did a 93 tune, you did the intake manifold, maybe another 40 wheel.
Yeah. And that's all I'm looking for. It's just a little bit of power.
You get a little bit more pump in the car. I mean, it'll go.
Yeah.
You don't need anything crazy. Take the speed limiter off, stuff like that. You don't need that junk.
My plan is to just build it the way I want to. I really just want to customize it. I like customizing it cosmetically because it makes the car look so cool. Yeah, like there's a bunch of people on Instagram and out on the internet that there's specifically these guys that I follow. They're literally called the Crown Hicks, and hence the name. The guy's got 2 lifted Crown Vics that are running on like 30-inch tires, and the things look ridiculous. And he takes the one camping, and he's got a roof rack on it, and he sets up a roof tent on the top of a Crown Vic, and he goes camping in it. And I thought it was the coolest thing. And his other one that he's got is a blue police interceptor, and I don't know if he daily drives that, but I've seen a couple of his videos on there. He takes it off-roading in Utah, and it's just cool to see something like that on the trail. Like, not saying that I would be off-roading my car. I just think that it would be something really different for our area because it hasn't been done in our area.
No, it really hasn't.
The only other vehicle that I've seen that's like it is the turboed one that has the paint scheme on it, the green one.
Yep.
And that one's not lifted though. That's an old 90s one.
Yeah, it's just got the old. It's like a P-51 Mustang paint job that's on there too. It's so freaking cool.
It's really cool.
I think that one is all hand etched too. I don't think that one's a wrap or anything or any type of.
That's not hand. It's painted with a gun.
Well, yeah,
green. But the actual paint scheme is all hand painted.
No, the stenciling on it with the war face, everything. That's all hand painted.
The green, the underlay though, is
that's painted on the car, but everything else is all stenciled by hand, which is very impressive.
It just looks so cool.
Yeah, I mean, for any car that you do today.
Like, who turbos a Crown Vic?
Yeah, there's also the supercharged one that's around here too.
The white one, yeah. I haven't seen that one in forever.
Never. Really.
I saw it up on Marketplace about 2 years ago.
Older gentleman. Cool ass car. I mean, that thing makes some freaking nasty power.
It boogies.
I mean, for a 480 horsepower Crown Vic, yeah, don't get me wrong, the body weight, the body weight of the Crown Vic's heavy, but dear lord, have you
ever seen a cruise ship go Mach 1 down a highway? That's what it's like.
Pretty much. It's so funny because you look at a Crown Vic and it's like a stock Crown Vic.
How is that thing going so fast?
That's
what everybody says.
A stock Crown Vic to the max. I'm talking to the floor. You're putting your foot down to the floor. It's like 125 with a speed limiter. Dude, this thing, I see the video of it, it's doing 140 with the Speedo. Yeah. And it's so funny when he floors it because the Speedo you see it go from 60 to 100 in like a second. I mean, it's impressive for a car that weighs that. It's just like the Hellcat, like we were talking earlier.
I bet you he's probably got some weight reduction in that.
It's impressive. No, it looks like full interior. Well, it's probably, I think it's a police pack.
Police pack.
But it's impressive to see such a heavy car like that, just to watch its Speedo climb like a rocket ship. Like my M5, don't get me wrong, it climbs.
It's got a V10.
But it's not. I mean, now, after everything's done, it's going to be watching it go from 60 to 150 in under 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, that's scary. It's scary fast, but at the same time, I mean, look at these underground racing Lamborghinis with 2,000 horsepower. They go 60 to 200 in 5 seconds, and they laugh.
Yep.
And that's scary. I mean,
that's just.
I can't imagine having a 2,000 horsepower car in the street. I'm okay with 1,000. That's like my max.
You've got the one that lives here at me.
Yeah, everything that anything that's over 1,000 horsepower on the street just becomes unpractical. I'm sorry. As much as even though I'm repping the 1320 shirt, whatever, street racing crap. I don't know. To me, if you're in a car with over 500 wheel, you can see that thing boogies.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you double it, you see that thing scary boogies. And then when you triple it, not fair. And then when you quadruple it, it's just death sentence waiting to happen.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
unless you're like a pro driver.
If I had 2,000 horsepower Lamborghini, I mean, you could whack the gas, go 0 to 200 in under 18 seconds.
Unless you're like a pro driver or like a NASCAR driver and you actually know what you're doing, it's a death sentence.
To me, it just doesn't seem like it should be road legal.
No.
It's almost too fast. I mean, don't get me wrong, you'd be faster than everybody else, but what's the point in that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong, yeah, cool, you get to be the fastest car around, but to me, and this is the way I like saying this, and as weird it is, yeah, you want to be the fastest one if you have a nice car, this and that, whatever. To me, you need to have fun. Mm-hmm. You want something that you could build, something that has competition too. You don't want to race people and be like, oh crap, dude, I put a building length on you. Yeah, cool. And then it's like,
whatever.
Yeah. I find the factor of building a car and beating supercars and embarrassing them for how much money they spend
way more satisfying.
My favorite. And then the people
built, not bought.
And then the people that talk crap too. Oh, you bought this car when you were this age, this and that, and it's just like, dude, listen.
What are you doing?
Oh, I don't know, I was playing. It's just like, listen, man, you guys don't even know. But, like I said, this summer you guys are going to see a lot of interesting new content that it's never before seen, and I don't think I've ever really shown, like, true car content besides on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And,
Snapchat. But those are just snippet videos.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We actually had true YouTube videos coming out. I've got a full reveal for my aftermarket list for the car. Yeah. Actually, I know a lot of people in the E60 community really want to see. I mean, to me, I have never seen. There's a lot of videos on the M5 and M6 V10 on YouTube, but there really isn't.
No.
You never see acceleration videos. You never get to see an M5 with this amount of horsepower doing this fast, Yeah. You see the snippets of companies showing it, but those are cars that are just slapped on kits, slapped on this and that. You never get to see a fully built car with that, see what it could do, and then you never get to see it go against stuff. I mean, there's a few videos online that I see of it going against like 700-800 horsepower Camaros, and the thing's beating them left and right. And then you get to watch the videos where it's going up against other crap, and it's just like...
Jeez.
It's like, yeah, I mean, but then there's only like 3 or 4 main videos out there that actually show shit, and it's just like, man, that's kind of boring. And it's just like, I want to add to the content, and that's what I'm planning on doing. I'm planning on adding something that's a learning experience for everybody through that car, and kind of an enjoymental thing.
Yeah. My car content's going to be probably span over a couple of years of just building the Crown Vic the way I want it. And sooner or later, like I said, it's going to become a seasonal vehicle. I'm going to get some kind of, beater or some kind of other daily that I can really beat on more and drive more than the Crown Vic. And probably a truck of some sort, something four-wheel drive because of the winter. And not saying that the Crown Vic's not bad in the winter with snow tires. It's just not ideal. And it's not what I want. I mean, I hunt. We go to a spot of land out in Warsaw, if people know where that is, and it gets rough out there in the winter. And I mean, God forbid I need to get my truck, I get stuck like with the Crown Vic or something out there. I'm not getting out of there until AAA comes with a tow truck. Like, I remember beaching my dad's Silverado that he had before, the red one that he's got now, on the property that we've got out there. One of the pull-in spots is angled, and there's a small gully at that point. It's a drainage ditch, and I just didn't see it because there was so much snow. And I backed out and I beached his Silverado, and like that thing got stuck, and it's got four-wheel drive. Now, yeah, I had the bed buried about 8 feet in the snow, so yeah, I'm not getting out of that. Luckily, there was somebody there that helped me to get out, but it's gonna come off the road at some point. And hopefully soon, probably within a year or so, and I'm going to get into something different, and I'm going to start putting money into the Vic and making it the way I want it, body-wise, performance-wise, and cosmetically.
The Crown Vic, I think the main thing we got to do with that car is...
get it sound.
Once we get our own shop location, wink, wink, or Wait, whatever. To you guys, we're looking for a shop location.
We're looking for a place where we can do the podcast and also work on cars at the same time.
Yep, and
because bouncing in between the lake property and my house and stuff like that, it's a little difficult.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, having the shop property, I mean, one with the background with all the cars and stuff that we can have in there.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys would get
eye candy.
Yeah, you guys would get to see cool projects, stuff being built. I mean, eventually we get a dyno in there, stuff like that. But it's all about, I mean, I'm coming out of college, so it's kind of hard. You're also working full time. I'm working full time with a college. It's a very...
Our jobs are funding what we want to do.
Yeah, and it's a very, very fun situation, and I plan on not doing my own shop to make money, but at the same time, we're doing it to build projects. But I really have gotten into auto detailing,
and I've been big into it. And people that I have another Instagram page that I don't do detailing a lot. I do it really on the side. It's always been an interest of mine, and
we do it all.
I'm not really gonna shout it out because I just don't use it very often because we're coming into winter here and there's really no point.
Once we get the okay
shop
with,
space.
Yeah, once we get the shop space going, and we're actually going to be bringing a few people online, and probably the one person you guys seen in our one podcast.
The first one, yeah.
Angie, she, one of my best friends, she will be actually joining us with the podcast stuff eventually. She's going to be, I believe, moving out here to Rochester if, stuff goes good and this and that, and we'll probably start our detailing gig, and we're also going to do automotive performance. I mean, I've been able to get my hands on lifts and stuff like that. Like, it's nothing. It's going to be cool. And I'm really, really, really excited to see what we could build, see what we could blow up.
And people, believe it or not, people don't see this about me. I'm very good at interior design.
Yeah, and that's true.
I'm very OCD when it comes to the look of what the background is and the look and the eye candy, as I call it.
And that's good. And actually, to almost wrap it up here.
Yeah. We're getting to about an hour and a half.
We're gonna cut about a half an hour show. We try to keep these.
We're at 125, so.
Yeah, we try to keep these podcasts to about an
hour to an hour and a half. I want to do a 2-hour one at some point, but if we do a 2-hour one, we need to have more people on.
Yeah, and the 2-hour one's gonna be just a little bit earlier. Because one, we also work all week. Two, we work all week.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I mean, we get tired.
It's getting hard in the colder months, too.
Yeah, as you guys see, I'm jittering around here. It's cold in here a little bit. And then just,
I'm a little used to it.
Yeah.
I sit in a 20-foot tree stand in the middle of winter.
Nope.
No, but, stay tuned for more content, guys, because it's just going to keep getting better and better, and hopefully at some point the podcast is going to grow to what I want it to be and to where I want it to be, and hopefully my goal within the next 2 years is to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark.
Yeah, and I think we can make that very, very, very possible.
Especially with the community around here. The community's great. There's a lot of great people out here.
We're only doing this for fun. We don't really care about the income or anything.
No.
We just want to share the experience with everybody and just have a good time. I mean, this is literally what life's about. Young, ambitious, and always on the move. And that's what I think a lot of people need to understand about us, is that we're out here for everything. I actually created a group called Upstate Euro car community. And yeah, even though it's all European cars, everybody's more than welcome. I don't care. You could have American Muscle, JEM, this and that. I only called it Upstate Euro just because obviously I have the Beamer, and I'm not a crazy Beamer fan. How can I say this? I'm not a crazy Beamer person to heart, but obviously having the car now, I love it. But that's everybody. You love the car for when you have it and when you move on.
Yeah, like I bought my car and I loved it, and then I got bored with it, and then I started doing stuff to it, and I liked it again. I have a really weird relationship.
See, and I was going to do the same thing where I was going to actually sell my M5, buy an M4, brand new, newer, 2015, 2016 M4, and I was going to build that, but I never really fell in love with the M4. I'm also falling in love with it again as we speak. My brother's actually going to test drive one tomorrow, and yeah, it's going to be a very, very intriguing car if he actually picks this thing up.
Yep.
But
there's a lot of very, very different opinions about that car.
Well,
yeah.
You guys stay tuned.
Yeah,
and
please.
we'll keep you guys updated. And until the next podcast.
We'll see you.